Good afternoon. This is Darren and Julia with the Mental Minute Baltimore. Like always, Julia, thank you so much for joining me. And for everybody out there that don't know, Julia is a clinical therapist with a specialty in trauma and addiction. She recently published her first book, Crossing Paths, the intersection between trauma and addiction. You have to go out and get it. But also, she has her own practice as well. So Julia, we had a couple questions come in, and the question that we had today is a good one. I'm very interested in getting to this right here. But the question that was asked is, what is a goal, and why is it so hard sticking to a plan and staying on track?
Wonderful question. And so I'll start with, what is a goal? So a goal is something you want to achieve. And so it's something that you're setting out to kind of reach. So it can be done when we're doing goal setting in sessions or anywhere else. We're kind of doing it in 5 general steps. We're making sure it's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's relevant to what you want, and it's time bound. And so we want to make sure when we're setting goals that they're important to us, that we can measure it so that there are steps we have to take for this success, and that we have a time limit for us. Because what we do a lot of times is we don't set like, oh, I'm going to do this, but we leave it open-ended. So we lose that kind of drive to finish it if we don't have a time, a timestamp on it. When we have goals, they can be hard because sometimes we create goals that are really vague, or they're not really well defined. And we don't have a really clear or specific plan or idea as to what it is that we want to achieve. The reasons that it can be really hard to achieve goals is because the first one that comes to mind is lack of commitment, that this isn't really a goal for us. Or if it's a fantasy goal, it's not something that's actually achievable. So like, for example, I want to be a WNBA player. Well, that's not a real goal for me at this stage in my life. So I'm not going to work as hard to achieve it. Even though I might set up some steps, I'm still not going to be able to do that. So it's not attainable. We want to focus on the result. We want to focus more on the steps and not on the result. So a lot of times we focus on the end game and what that's supposed to look like, and not all those small steps that take us to get to that final result. A lot of people suffer with procrastination. And so when we procrastinate, we lose motivation, we lose interest, which means the goal might not be relevant anymore where we are in life. Another few things is if the goal is unattainable. So again, as I mentioned, if I want to be a WNBA star, that's not really attainable anymore. One or two final things is if we're expecting immediate results, that's not going to happen. Goals take time, they take effort, they take us working towards something. And then the final thing is we have to kind of celebrate the small steps in getting to the final goal. If we don't allow ourselves this feeling of being proud of ourselves, doing the small things to lead to this big goal, then we miss the point of doing these goals and changing.
Thank you very much for that. And I wanted to ask, so you had mentioned that it's a goal has to have a specific time stamp, write it down. And I believe they said like your goal is 70% chance to come true if you write it down. So that is huge. So write it down. But one thing you said is the steps, and focus on the steps. And I think where a lot of people might get it wrong is motivation. Like, I'm motivated to do something, but motivation only gets you so far. It is the steps. It is the discipline, the everyday, the little things that are going to help you get there. And then I did want to ask you as well, because there's some people that I've talked to, they self-sabotage. Like, they're going good and they feel like, hold up, that's not, my life is never just going good. Nothing's ever just easy. So I have to self-sabotage. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Absolutely. And that happens a lot with people as we start doing these steps, and we don't, again, it goes back to that wanting those immediate results. We work, and we're not getting to the final end game yet, but we're getting closer. But sometimes when we get closer, people kind of give up. They get frustrated because they're not there yet. And so we self-sabotage in that, oh, it's never going to happen. This is too hard. I can't do this anymore. I can't change this. I can't add on this. And so we do self-sabotage in those ways, and we end up kind of losing, these are the steps. This is what was originally designed by me and how we're going to get there. But it's too hard now, so I'm not going to do it.
Thank you very much for that. And, Julia, I just want to thank you all the time you take away from your family, your practice, just to share with me. in the community. And for anybody out there, you know, if you're having problems with the goal, you know, and if you just need some help, some suggestions, you know, please reach out to us. You know, we're here for you. We put resources on our page. And to anybody out there that has a goal, but maybe it looks too big, maybe say, this can't be me, I can't achieve it. You know, there's one thing I can tell you is this, is that if you quit on your goal, it's 100% chance it won't happen. But if you go for it, there's a chance that it can. So don't give up on yourself or the goals or things you have in your mind. Julia, thank you for your time. Everybody out there, we have resources on our Facebook page. And again, it's okay not to be okay. We're here for you. Julia, I appreciate you. You have a good rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.